So I just wanted.
Lewis Hamilton has backed Ferrari's ability to win, but pointed to key things the team must learn if it is to fight for the Formula One title once more. Ferrari has flirted with the driver's title battle since last achieving success in 2007, but has rarely maintained this for the duration of a campaign. Hamilton arrived in Zandvoort second in the standings to Kimi Antonelli, but has now dropped to third, and vented his frustration during the race at Ferrari's lack of urgency or willingness to make tough calls from the pit wall. This was especially clear when the team was slow to react when he closed onto the gearbox of Leclerc mid-race. This delay, Hamilton believes, cost him a podium finish, and instead left him to take the flag in fourth place. "Today was definitely frustrating for me," he told Sky Sports. "I'm here to win, and I really believe that this team can win. Whether or not we couldn't win this race, but to win championships, you have to pick up every point. And the last few races have been difficult with penalties and stuff. Then today, I lost several seconds behind Charles, which I think ultimately probably would have made the difference at the end. But we'll take it offline. My goal is to try and lead this team to the top, to the championship, and we've got some work to do, for sure." Despite his frustration at some of the in-race antics, Hamilton was nonetheless pleased with his strategy and praised aspects of the team's execution of the weekend. "Firstly, I think the guys in the garage did a fantastic job with the pit stops," he added. "Strategy was genuinely very, very good. The car felt awesome, and, they've worked so hard to continue to put in a bit of an upgrade here. We're just chipping away at it all the time. We're still losing. This first half of the season, we've been losing 3 to 5 tenths on the straight, depending on which track we go to. And that's a very hard deficit to overcome just through corners. But we're close." On the other side, Charles Leclerc has joined teammate Lewis Hamilton in questioning Ferrari's strategy at the Dutch Grand Prix. Ferrari appeared to have got on top of its strategy fumbles of recent years, but the Scuderia struggled to nail its plan at Zandvoort, making decisions that hindered both drivers.
Again, just such a classic design.
Having given Hamilton a large tire delta over the leaders, the 7-time champion had a significant pace advantage over Leclerc when he cruised onto his teammate's gearbox. But rather than switching the positions, Ferrari pitted Leclerc onto a far weaker strategy, but only after costing Hamilton significant time through a lack of urgency in making the call. "I didn't really understand why we had to box so close to George's pit stop, because that really was kind of signing to finishing behind George," Leclerc told Sky Sports. "With a 2 or 3 lap difference for me, there wasn't much I could have done. I felt like there was a bit more in my tires. Obviously, Lewis and I were on different strategies at that point, but I felt that what was right was staying a bit longer on the track. But at the end of the day, it's the way it is. I think we got mostly a little bit unlucky with the virtual safety car timing, and most importantly, I don't think we did a good job yesterday in qualifying, and we paid the price of it by starting further down." When F1 returns to action in 2 weeks, the championship will be competing in Ferrari's home territory at the Italian Grand Prix. While trying to remain positive, Leclerc's expectations are limited. Obviously, Monza is extremely special as a Ferrari driver. "And for Kimi Antonelli as well, I'm sure," he said. "I don't really know what to expect. If I look at Silverstone and Spa, on paper it was kind of like Monza where we expected to struggle, and we were a lot stronger than what we expected. I hope that happens again in Monza, but if you ask me as of now, I will tell you it's probably going to be a difficult weekend, but we'll have some upgrades, and I hope it will work." Ferrari boss Fred Vasseur has defended his team's questionable strategy decisions at the Dutch Grand Prix after both Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc voiced their frustrations. Having extended his first stint, Hamilton had a significant tire delta over Leclerc when he came steaming up behind his teammate at a rate of around 1 second per lap. Rather than pull Leclerc aside, Ferrari initially sought to pit the Monegasque, but instead left him out for a further lap, costing Hamilton valuable time before pulling him in the next time around. This was later followed by a suggestion from the pit wall that Hamilton should switch to medium tires. But when asked by the 7-time champion whether it would be the fastest option, the response was inconclusive. Audibly frustrated, Hamilton demanded that the team find the answer as they have all the data. We didn't want to tell him the strategy at this stage because we didn't want to disclose to the competitors that we wanted to keep him on track until the end, said Vasseur. If he was able to keep Antonelli behind him, and I think that would have been the right call. And Charles was supposed to pit, and we extended one lap, and that was a kind of confusion, but I'm not worried about this type of thing. Everybody will be back in the debriefing, and they will have a clear picture about the race. Charles also was a bit frustrated at one stage about the compound, but the compound that I think everybody was a bit lost about the compounds. The first two, they started with medium on the first start, then they moved to soft, and the difference between the three compounds was very marginal today, and it was difficult to have a clear picture on the strategy. It means that sometimes you have to change the strategy or adapt, because we are trying to learn from the others also, and for them, it's a bit frustrating, but they will understand. Hamilton eventually finished the Zandvoort race in 4th place, missing out on the podium by less than a second, a margin far less than the time lost by following Leclerc during the pit stop phase. But the timing of Leclerc's stop also left him in a difficult spot, with a long final stint that, had it not been for a late virtual safety car intervention, could have seen him tumble down the order. Speaking with the benefit of hindsight, Vasseur conceded that he would handle some elements of the race differently if he could hit the reset button. You can always say after the race that you could have been better to do it like this or this, he added. The story is that when Lewis came back on Charles, we were expecting him to pit. And then we had someone in the shadow of the car when we asked him to do one lap more. You can't ask him to do one lap more and to swap position in the middle of the straight line. It's not so easy. But still, yeah, if I have a look at the race now, they can do it differently.